Welcome to Survival Gearless video series. Today I'm going to talk about being prepared for winter driving. Now you don't have to live in Buffalo, New York, or Minneapolis or Chicago to be concerned about winter driving. You should be prepared no matter where you live for the colder weather and storms that come in. So I'm going to break this video down into two parts. One, being prepared for your body, yourself, and then also being prepared with your automobile. Back in January there was a storm that hit Atlanta, and the weather forecasters all told everyone that this giant ice storm was coming, but it seemed that people didn't heed the warning. So the storm hit right around 5 o'clock, right when everyone was hitting the freeways, and they got stuck in this giant ice storm. And so what happened was people were not prepared, and they ended up sleeping in CVS stores and Home Depots, and Chick-fil-A was handing out food to people. So you can see that you can be hit by a winter storm no matter sort of where you live, so you should be prepared. So what items should you have in your car? Well, one, you should have a good pair of boots and wool socks. That's important to keep your feet warm and dry. And then you should have a jacket. Now this is an old army coat that I keep in my car. Now I don't live where it's going to snow on me, but it is lined and it's going to keep me warm. Now if it rains, I'm going to get wet, and I have something to do for that. You should always have a hat, scarf, and gloves just to keep yourself warm. And then also a blanket in your car. You can pick up a good wool blanket at like a thrift store. You don't have to buy the old army ones on websites. You can just go to a thrift store and pick up an old wool blanket to keep you warm. Now, because my jacket's not weatherproof, I pack a lot of garbage bags with me, and this allows me to make a quick poncho out of these. But also, if you need to kneel on the side of the road and try and dig your car out of either mud or snow, ice, or even just to fix a flat tire, you can kneel on these plastic bags and not get your pants all wet. The other items that you should have for your own body, and you should obviously have on your car all the time, is a first aid kit, a very thorough first aid kit. Also, you probably want to keep some hand warmers. These you can put in your boot, in your hands to keep everything nice and warm. An emergency whistle. You should also keep some food in your car just in case you get stuck. You can just throw a box. These are Fiber One bars. You just take a whole box and just throw those in your car. You should also have a knife in case you need to cut anything. You should have a decent knife in your car. Also keep these are windproof and waterproof matches. You can dunk these things in water and then light them. They're easier to use than having a lighter, which could end up freezing, or if you have gloves on, it's a lot easier to strike a match than it is to try and flick a lighter on. So those are things I keep. Also water. Now, if you live in some areas that will freeze, you may want to open it up and take some of the water out before you put them in your car. And then, so that's what I have on your human body. And then we're going to switch to items that you should keep in your car for your car. All right, so now we're going to talk about items that you keep in your car for your car's sake. So, always keep during the winter a pair of jumper cables, because the cold can obviously drain your battery, especially if you have a battery that's a few years old. It will weaken your battery to the point where you won't be able to start, or you can actually help somebody be a good neighbor. Now the good thing is the technology today has come along, so you can actually keep one of these in your car, and it is basically a big battery that you can jump your automobile with. You'll be able to connect these battery terminals right to this thing and start your engine. You can jump your car. The other good thing is you can also charge your phone off of these things, and that's so important in an emergency. You keep your cell phone charged. So this one's got every connector from the old iPad to USB to the lightning cable, mini USB. It's got a million different plugs that you can use to charge your computer or anything else you may need to. So keeping your battery charged so you can start your engine, obviously that's super important. And then also light. With daylight saving time over, now you have winter and it gets dark very early. So you want to keep a headlamp, which is so handy when you're changing a tire or working on something in your car or trying to dig your car out. You have a headlamp, keeps your hands free. These are cheap. They're energizers, but they're very good. So these come with the batteries in it, and it's a strap that just goes onto your head. They're very bright at 135 lumen. They're terrific. You can make them full bright or less bright. And the switch is a good switch because it doesn't drain the battery. Some switches will continue to draw power and drain your batteries. But you can just buy it like this. You can get them online on Amazon, or you can pick them up at Lowe's. They're about 12, 15 bucks. And also a very good flashlight. This is a Coast HP7. Coast is one of my favorite flashlight companies. This one is weather resistant. It has rubber O-rings, so if you're out in the rain or in the snow, you have a really bright flashlight. This is a 330 lumens, I believe. Other items you want to keep in your car. If you live in a snowy area, you could carry some kitty litter, although that's pretty heavy, in the back of your car to get some traction. But I used these when I lived in Chicago. I just had some old beach towels, pool towels that you can just, if you have a front-wheel drive car, you just stick them underneath the front of your wheels and drive forward. Or if you're trying to back out, you can just put them behind your wheels to back out. Also, another item to keep in your car is a small shovel. This is a collapsible shovel. It's actually pretty good. I take it camping just to put out fires. It's by SOG, and it's not overly huge. You're not going to be digging a latrine or anything with this thing, but if you need to dig out your car in the snow or mud, it's nice and portable and small. It will fit the bill, and it obviously fits inside there as well. And I always carry a can of Fix-It Flat. The great thing about this is if you do get a flat tire, and let's say you haven't kept up with your spare, this thing will not only inflate your tire and seal it. So there are some other sealers out there, but then how do you inflate your tire? So a can of Fix-It Flat is great. And then lastly, I still carry maps with me. GPS is great to know where you are. But if you need to really get down into street level and know how to get somewhere from point A to point B and actually plan your route, especially if you have to go around some bad neighborhoods, having old paper maps, you can still get them at AAA, they're priceless. Just throw them in your car and keep them there forever. And then finally, if you do get stuck in snow, I just want to say that you can run your motor, obviously, to keep things warm in your car, but you only run about 10 minutes per hour, then turn it off, turn it back on. That way you can keep your battery charged, your engine charged, and keep yourself warm inside your vehicle. Well, I'm going to post a couple links to different PDF sources for winter driving, but I hope this quick review of items helps you out.